and this will be the first video in the series of the second line of the 6 lines of the hexagram as it relates to I Ching. This is the hermits. And so the hermit line thrives when they are alone and they have time to dance and play with the rhythm of life without the interference of people or expectations being projected onto them. Think of this line type kind of like cats. They're curious and playful, especially kittens. But when they lose interest, they just walk away. And that's just part of their thing. It's like they follow what is interesting to them in that dance of life. And that kind of even goes back to the sacral. The sacral is the pleasure center. It's the creative life force. So if something's not interesting and they're getting an they walk away. So, I mean, this is just a more rudimentary version of that. So the freedom to explore and shift focus is imperative for the second line, so they can learn their own energy and gifts and how their energy dances with life. They thrive with alone time. Thrive. And my sister has that in a second line. My ex had a second line, didn't understand at the time. Yeah, that alone time is very, very important. And one of my close friends in Oregon is 6'2". So yes, they need alone time. They need to be able to dance with their own energies. They need to have the flow of rhythm of life so they can understand how they interface this world. And they find joy spending time in their own aura. It's like understanding the nuances and the boundaries, doing what they want, following their natural rhythms, because that's going to lead them to what gifts they're supposed to bring into this world when they're called out of the hermit state. They dislike disruptions because they prefer to stay in their own energy field without the external pressures or disruptions, most of it caused by what is projected upon them, and then also what they project onto themselves based on that, what they feel like are the external pressures. Paradoxically, the more time a 2-line spends alone in isolation, the more attractive their aura is going to be to other people. And so that's why there's kind of that balance. There has to be something to pull them out of that hermit state. But then they also have to learn how to listen to their inner authority and their strategy, or inner outer authority and strategy, to be able to navigate this so they don't end up being completely burned out and disappointed. And as part of the others is that they will project onto you what they need. You're going to be their savior or this or that. The other issue a 2-line is going to have is that they also project on themselves of their perception of what people are expecting from them. So it double weights them down compared to some of the other line types, like a 5 that just has a single projection field. And 5-2s have all the projections, so, or 2-5s. We'll get into that in this series. It is critical to find balance between others' expectations and your own personal integrity, because without that, you're not going to navigate this life very well. And since 2-lines rarely see what they do as gifts and superpowers, they presume that their knowledge is universal and well-known. And that's in commonplace, which is definitely not the case. And so that's kind of been a challenge for them. And the second line must trust their inner intuition about projections and use of their inner outer authority and strategy to determine if a projection is right for them. If it doesn't, they will quickly become drained, depleted, resentful, unable to focus on what matters most, including the dance that their aura has with life. The balance will allow them to maintain healthy relationships, and that's a very important thing for a second line, since they are hermit type. Those relationships are close-knit and they have to be safe, stable, and secure. For a second line to fully thrive, they must honor their need for solitude and personal space so they can recharge and get in with the natural flow to bring out their natural gifts. And so the golden shadow of a 2-line is genius, gifted, extraordinary. But the taboo shadow is selfish, reclusive, withdrawn. And they have to be, because they can't get their access to their gifts without doing that second side. But then that's what's projected onto them negatively. For career and relationships, they thrive when they have a place to retreat and an environment that respects their need for solitude, and then gives them the self-reflection role and then bring them out for the activities that are natural to them, and then share that with the world. Embrace the connections that, and sorry, I had something pop up on my screen. Embrace the connections that appreciate your natural talents and don't pressure you to socialize. And pressuring them to socialize will deplete them faster than anything in the world. So ask them if they feel like it. It's like, or if they're a projector, invite them and see if they want to come out, to bring them out of the shell. And then they have to listen. And if it's no, then it's a no. And example jobs for the 2 line would be a teacher, guru, designer, artist, performer, chef, working in a kitchen, where you can do your own mojo and then just interact as needed. Those are going to be examples of the type of things that are going to make them bring out their talents the best. And that is the introduction to the 2 line. And if you have any questions about that or any insights as a 2 line, feel free to provide them below.